I recently acquired a Roland Alpha Juno 2. It sounds amazing. It's got all the features of its older cousins, the Juno 6 and the 106, but of course the Alpha lacks the sliders and knobs that the earlier generation had. Instead, the Alpha requires you to wade through a single level menu for all 36 parameters using the so-called Alpha dial. And yeah, this won't do. This is a tedious process, and it's not really compatible with creative thinking and in the moment that musicians like. Now, of course, Roland being Roland, they sold an optional hardware controller surface back in the 1980s, and you can still buy these for about $800 on eBay. And there is some third-party ones that sell for just a couple $100. So there is something you can put down some money for if you want to. But I thought maybe there's a way to do this using more generic and common hardware, like this little box here that I bought on eBay for $50. You see, MIDI already has a protocol for sending knobs or sending parameters, adjustments. It's called CC. I think it stands for continuous controller or something like that. And the only problem here is that the Roland hardware expects a proprietary language over sysx or system exclusive messages. So can we just translate? Well, it turns out, yes, we can. The software I'm going to show you today will translate from generic MIDI CC messages into the special Roland Alpha Juno sysx. This lets you use an inexpensive MIDI controller with knobs to control the Alpha Juno. The software can run either in a terminal with Python, in a web browser, or on the Tulip Creative Computer. And of course, the web browser version also has an excellent PG300 inspired GUI, which you're seeing right here. In all these cases, the same configuration files are used. If you set up a configuration in the command line, you can use it in the browser. If you set one up on the browser, you can use it on the command line. And of course, you can also use it on the Tulip computer. The command line might be particularly cool if you have like a Raspberry Pi in your studio that you can run stuff on, because then you don't need to have like a full-fledged desktop computer in the way of your creative process. Anyway, here's my generic CC controller. You could also use like an M Audio or an Ovation. Any of these inexpensive MIDI keyboards or controllers that have knobs and sliders all over them will work fine for this. And the software supports layering, which I'll get into later, but it effectively multiplies the number of controls that you have. All right, so let me just give you a quick demonstration here. In the web view, this is how it comes up, and it will immediately respond to any controller changes that you make on the synth itself. So here I am just selecting different patches, and if I were to go through and wade into the menu system, you would be able to see, like right here, I'm changing the range using the Alpha Juno's Alpha dial. That's pretty cool, right? And we can make all these adjustments in real time, and the synth immediately responds to them. But where the real magic happens, of course, is with this CC mapping. And in this case, I can rotate the knobs and I can make the same kinds of changes that you were seeing before. So here I'm adjusting the envelope. I can do this in real time while I'm performing on the synthesizer. And if I want to, I can also view this from the point of view of the knob grid. The knob grid is something that you get to set up the first time you run the program, and then you can see basically how the controller has been assigned to your synthesizer. And when I load up different presets, the knobs will jump to show you what's been selected, and you can make the changes. So here's the layer select in the lower right hand corner, going between different layers. I've got it set up so it's oscillator, envelope, and filter roughly. You can have duplicate controls too if there's something you want on like every layer. You can easily do that on here. Alright, so let me show you how to set this up for yourself. When you first load the website, and yes, there's nothing to install, you just click and it runs. It's open source, you can modify it yourself and everything. When you first load it up, it looks like this, and what you need to do is go up here and select the MIDI hardware that you're using. So in this case, this really weird number is my controller. And once I've selected it, if I rotate a knob, you'll see the little activity light come on, which is a good sign. The 2 synth, this is your MIDI output. So that's my Roland UA25. And in this case, I have the same one coming back from the synth. And if I play a note, yep, it lights up right here as you expect. Okay, so now we need to configure the MIDI hardware. That's the CC box. So I'm going to go over to configure. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then from here, I've got a grid of knobs. Now my grid is set up as like a 5x3. I mean, yours might be, I don't know, like an 8x2, like this. This is pretty common, or 1x2. I mean, a 1x8. But put in whatever it is that your box has, because it will make it a lot easier to understand how it works if you represent it on the screen. So here's mine. It's a 3x5. And what we have to do is teach it what these knobs are. So I'm going to click on one of the knobs. I'm going to press learn, and then I just twist the knob, and it learns it. And see, now it's turning. And I'll click on the next one and learn it, and so on. And this box in particular, the knobs are not in CC order. I don't know why they did this, but if they were in order, I guess I could have had some kind of like function to automatically populate them. But in this case, it just, oops, I'm turning the wrong knobs. Look at this. So I accidentally turned to the wrong row. Okay, I've now learned all the knobs into the system. I'm going to use this knob right here as my layering knob, where I can pick which layer I'm operating. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to name the first layer oscillators. The second one will be envelope. And maybe I'll do a third layer filter. Okay? And you can see these now show up here. So on the oscillator layer, let's make this one the general oscillator range, which is DCO range. Okay. And then here I'll do, oh, I don't know, maybe the pulse type. And here I'll do the saw type, for example. I'll put the sub here and the sub level right here. And if I go over to the performance mode now, and if I rotate those knobs, you'll see that they're changing. These are less exciting because they're kind of coarse adjustments, but we'll get into the fine-tuning stuff too. If I go on the knob grid, I see the same thing happening over here. Okay, so let's continue configuring real quick. I'll just do the envelope, and this won't surprise anyone. We'll just do like attack, decay, sustain, release kind of stuff right here. Okay, and I can do the same thing for the filter. I'll just put a couple in here real quick to demonstrate it. And you know what they're going to be. Cut off, resonance, right? There we go. Okay, and so if I go over to performance mode, I can make these adjustments. I can change layers down here with this knob. It's really simple. If I want to see it, in this way, I can see it on this screen. I can go over to the envelope controls. You see how they highlight orange when it's selected, so you can, you'll know what you're doing. And once you've got this the way you want it, this is really important. You need to press export. That's right here. And this exports a YAML file, which is a configuration file that you can edit. It's plain text to your computer, and you can import that later into this tool, or you can import it into the command line tool if you want to run it on an embedded system like the Tulip or Raspberry Pi. It's the same format configuration file. So yeah, it's pretty much it, and I think I'll close the video just with a demonstration of the kinds of sounds you can get by making quick edits. By the way, future versions of this will absolutely include a patch library. It's something I'm working on right now, but it's not quite done yet. So let's say we go over to this string preset, It's not bad, but what if we want to change the cutoff a little bit? Well, I just, turn my knobs. Easily, make it sound the way I wanted it to. Let's give another example here. Okay, yeah, so take this sound right here. It's kind of cool, right? But it's completely lacking bottom end. So I would just go on to this page of my configuration where I have high pass filter. Just let a little bit of that warmth into it. I could have easily done it, you know, with the mouse on this page too. It's the same adjustment. It's right here. And you can, if you remember which knob it is, you can turn the knob on your hardware controller. I kind of like this view because that represents my controller, and I haven't printed out a guide yet as to like which knob is which. So that's how I typically make those adjustments. Let's check another one out. What a cool sound, huh? Alright, so let's take this like kind of nasty sound. And if we change the filtering just a little bit, let's see. Not bad, right? Let's see. We can go over to the oscillator page and see what's going on here. If we want more of like the sub level, really punch it through. And maybe we want, let's see, less of the saw. Yeah, that's too much there. It just opens up like a whole world of creativity when you can very easily make these adjustments without having to use a computer, right? I'm just using this little set of knobs on top of my synth, and without having to wade through the menu on the synth, which is not terrible, but it is not very visual. You can't see all of the values at once. So here is the Juno string patch, pretty famous patch. We can go over here to this and just give it like a little bit more because it seems kind of thin. There we go. It was like too warm, right? And I think this needs some tweaking over here because we're not really hearing very much. A little bit of this. Much better. And if I want to, I can make it come up a little quicker, you know. Like this. Another cool thing about having the knobs right on the keyboard is you can make changes while you're playing. So for example, if I have like a patch like this, this is the Blade Runner brass sound, and then I want to add like something over it. Maybe I prefer like a faster attack so that I don't have to play so slowly. So I'll turn this down a little bit like this. Too much. Then I could go back to the long range attack and I could throw in a chord like this. it just really gives you a lot of power when you can make these adjustments on the fly while you're playing or recording or performing. And I think it's a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy this software. It's free, it's open source, you can download it, modify it, or just run it in your browser and enjoy it. Love to hear what you think. Thanks.